welcome back to Build Your Empire. Today we have a total badass mum with us that's going to be sharing all things manifestation, which is one of those things that, you know, we all need to know about. It's not a want, this is a need to know about, I believe. So welcome, Danny. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're going to cover some real nitty-gritty stuff today. So you are a manifestation coach, you're a mum, you're an entrepreneur, you are a successful businesswoman. Tell us a little bit about you now and the space that you're in and what it is that you do.
Okay. So I do wear many hats. So I'll sort of go through those. As you said, I am a mum, is one of my hats. A mum of two gorgeous kids, so Gracie and Finn, 12 and 14. So going through, you know, life with them, which is great fun. I'm a wife to Grant. He's got his own business in construction. I also wear, well, actually at the moment, I'm also wearing the hat of teacher and principal as we're homeschooling kids here in Victoria. But I also wear the hat of a business owner and actually a multiple business owner. But I am a mindset and I am a manifestation coach. And that is my absolute, like, I'm so passionate about it. I'm so excited about it. It just drives me. Like, I absolutely love everything about it. And I love, my biggest passion, honestly, is showing people the possibilities, like what they can actually do, because so many people are just getting stuck. Like they know they want more, but they don't know how to get through. They don't know why they're self-sabotaging. They don't know why they've got low self-worth. They know what they want, but they don't know how to get it. So I love working.
What we know, right?
Absolutely. And the power of the mind.
Normal, don't we? Like we think, well, this is just it. Like I've always been like this.
Yeah. And that's what I always have to be like, but you don't. Like, you actually can change it. Like, you can change it.
So true. And that was a big game changer, you know, for myself in business, was that moment that I went, there's more. Like this thing, I didn't even know, you're probably going to laugh at this, I didn't even know what the word personal development meant. When I heard it, I was like, what? What do you, I don't understand what that means. And, you know, I honestly believe that once you open that can of worms, you can't ever shut that again. Like, it's open and it's never ending. There's no point that you get to where you go, oh, and now we're done. You know, I've completed that, and now I can get on with this amazing life. It's just not like that. Can you share a little bit of light about, you know, the subconscious? I know we're getting straight into a rabbit hole.
Yes,
but, you know, share a little bit about that.
Absolutely. And I think, and again, I'm not going to use too big of words to confuse and go back right into the science of it. I just want to keep this really simple, because I think sometimes people get overwhelmed going, oh, that's all too much for me, I don't get it. But what I want people to understand is, you can show your subconscious mind, which is not the mind it's the mind that's sort of running everything you're saying and doing, and it's what we're living in autopilot on. But I want to show people that you can trick it. Like, you can show it anything and it will believe it to be true. Okay, so whatever you show it, it believes to be true. So that can work in a really great way, like in a positive way, but it can work in a really negative way too. So I always say to people, just even be mindful, like even the shows we're watching on TV, like when we're watching like war shows or, you know, the news or things like that, it's all these, fills you with this dread, and you're showing your subconscious mind that it doesn't know whether it's real or not. It just knows what you show it. So again, you can trick it though. You can show it anything that you want, like amazing things. You can listen to podcasts like this and expand your mind to show it to be true. You can watch YouTube, you can read books. This is where personal development comes in. You can surround yourself with amazing people, and then it believes that to be true. So you've got to be so careful about what you're showing your mind, what you're feeding your mind, what you're saying and what you're listening to. But that's the power. Like, that is the power of the subconscious mind.
Wow. And you just wrapped it all up and put a red bow on it in 35 seconds. Like, that really is it. You've got a catalog, as you do, you know, from Kmart, but this is your life, and you get to pick what you want it to look like. You don't have to be stuck. So, you know, share share a little bit about, your journey to getting to where you are, because I'm sure that on that journey there has been some ups and downs. There's been some complete bucket moments. There would have been some, breakdowns. There would have been, popping champagne, the whole lot. How did that pan out for you?
Look, if I backtrack it a bit and I think back to why, what life was like before. So I have had been in business before, and I've had lots of bricks and mortar businesses. So when it sort of really started happening for me, my husband and I had a motel together. We had 2 little babies. We were living a life of, yes, it was successful, but we were tied to this business. We were constantly stressed about income. We were, we didn't do anything as a family of 4 together. It was either Grant was at the business or I was and the kids. And this is just, it wasn't the life I wanted. And I remember, and I've always been very, very, very open to, you would have heard Law of Attraction, The Secret, all of those things. My mind's always been very open. Like I even think back, and again, this will tie in what I talk about later, but our programming has everything to do with the way we are, like everything. But you can change that programming. But I think about my programming, and I remember being a little girl in the car with my dad, and I remember him listening to this funny man on the tape deck in the car going, what is it? But it was Tony Robbins. And for those of you in that world, that he was very open-minded and very entrepreneurial, and he used to have that on. Now, I didn't even know what that man was saying at the time, but that was programmed into my subconscious mind. Anyway, back in the motel, I just remember going, this is not what I want. This is not the life I want. There has to be more. And I saw people doing more. And this was 10, 12 years ago. And I remember having a screaming baby in a pram that I'd walk for hours every single day. And I started the visualization process. And everyone's got their own power. I'm a very powerful visualization, manifester. And I would walk the pavement with this screaming baby, looking at the life that I wanted to have. And I started visualizing it. I started feeling it. I started seeing it.
I just got goosebumps.
Oh, did you? Every single part about it. And when I look at my life now, 12 years later, I live in the house that I visualize. I live in the town that I visualize. I lived a life with my kids. Like I've been out, my son's been out surfing this morning. I've been out with him doing that. Before school, the relationship I have with my daughter, who's a 14 going on, 24-year-old, one of my best friends, like the marriage I have, like it's what I visualized back then. Now that's not the only way. There's other processes you can do. But so it started then what happens when you start doing this process, little opportunities pop up. So it doesn't go, you don't just sit there and wait for it to drop in your lap. It doesn't happen like that. You've got to look at the opportunities. You've got to take them, and you've got to take risks. And we did. And hence where I am now. So then we moved to where I live now in a small seaside town, which was my dream location. Never thought I'd be able to afford to live here, but here we are. Another opportunity presented itself. And I started an online business in the social marketing space and got to the top of that company within 17 months. Now, I was one of those people too that honestly, my programming was, I'm average. I never thought I could be above. I never thought I could be that top 1%er that I became. I thought I would just be average and live that average life. That was for other people. Other people got to drive those cars, have those houses, have those holiday homes.
I'm not. I'm
not her. I was never the popular one at school. I had friends and I was just the average. I got the average grades, all that sort of thing. So when I got to the top of this company and I started working with hundreds of people and coaching and mentoring them, I started seeing a really interesting pattern, which I'm sure you can relate to. I started seeing people like myself go straight to the top of the company. I saw some people doing way more work than I would ever do in my business and get stuck at the same level for years upon years upon years. And I'm looking at this going, what is going on here? Why? We've all got the same business. We've got the same compensation plan. We've got the same systems. Why are some going here and some going here? The only difference was this. And the programming that people had, and people didn't realize they're getting stuck because their subconscious did not believe at all they could be that person. So that's how I ended up doing the work that I'm doing now. So I can show not only people how to run an online business, but also that once you change this and you change your programming, you literally can do anything. And that's not to say I haven't completely arrived there. Like I still, like you're talking about, it doesn't stop. Like I do this work every single day still.
Yeah. Tell us when you say you do the work every single day, what are some of the things that you do? I know there's going to be a lot of people listening who are like, oh, I hear about this manifestation and I hear about people talk about, law of attraction and all of those things, but they don't actually know. And I know I was in this space, I didn't know what to do. Like if someone kind of just said, which they ended up saying, okay, just sit down and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. I was so willing, but I just didn't know where to start. What would you say to those people?
Okay, so and what I'll tell you to do too, it's so simple, and it's what most people won't do, or they won't do it consistently. They might do it once, do it twice, and they stop. But like anything, if you're consistent at something, it works. So for me, what my day looks like, what my work looks like, and what I've done over the years to create what I've wanted is I do get up very early. So, or not very early for some people. I get up at 4:50 every morning. My alarm goes off. And I jump online at 5 o'clock. So I have also created a community that anybody else that wants to get online at the same time, because it's always good when you've got that accountability. And my sister and I started doing this together because if I got up on my own, but I probably wasn't going to do it, but if I knew someone was going to be there, I showed up. So I created an online community that people can get on at this time. Now, if 5 o'clock's too early for you, do it 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whenever you wake up. But what's the most important thing to do is the first thing that you do before you turn on the news, before you start yelling at your kids, or before you listen to anything, the first thing you show your subconscious mind is who you're trying to be, the future self you're trying to create. And that's a really, really important thing. Because what happens overnight, especially when we sleep, we reset. Okay, so after resetting, you don't want any influence in your mind, because some people say to me, oh, can't I do this at nighttime? It is really, really important to do it while you've got that clean slate. So I sit down, and I have also created a future self journal that gives people, it gives them prompts on what to do, because some people go, that's fine, but I don't know what to do when I get up at 5 o'clock. What do I journal? What do I do? So we've created a journal called the Future Self Journal that goes through that. So, things that you are grateful for. What does your future self look like? What does she speak like? Who are her friends? What does she earn? It creates that feeling, because the most powerful thing in manifestation, it's not just tricking your subconscious mind, it's also creating that feeling throughout your whole body. And when you can actually get into the feeling of who you want to be, I can tell you things speed up by 100. So that's what that looks like. And then after I do that, I do a meditation, and we've created a multiple amount of meditations for people actually to go back to change their programming as well. Wow. So if you're stuck at depends on what you think your block is at that time, whether it's money, whether it's self-worth, whether it's, the self-sabotage, and we can go back and find in these meditations the first time that could have happened. And look, I'll be honest too, I haven't had anything traumatic, I believe happened to me. Some people think, oh, you must have had to have something bad, and this is not about blaming parents or blaming teachers or blaming, our influences, especially in those first 7 years, but it's about going back. And it could be somebody said one thing, like you weren't invited to a birthday party once. Then it started, do you know what I mean? And then that just starts the next thing that you believe about yourself, which then starts the next thing you believe about yourself. But if you go back in meditation and change it in your subconscious mind, and you show your subconscious mind a different scenario, it actually doesn't have it now. You actually feel differently now. So I do, meditation, that's what it looks like. I do walk also every morning, and walking for me is my visualization process. That's where I can just create. It's where I can see what I'm after. It's where I can create that feeling as well. So that's the work I do.
Oh, wow, you've got me like, oh my God, there's so many things that come to mind. And I remember doing an exercise like this with a coach many years ago. These are the people that opened up the can of worms for me, absolute game changers. And I remember them asking to write a mission statement. And at the time I just thought, I have no idea what this is. Like, I don't want to do it. I was back in that old thought process. And, and it's exactly what they said, writing down, 10 years from now, how do you wake up? Where are you waking up? What do your curtains look like? What do you drive? What do you eat? How, like you said, how do you speak? And it's funny because I feel as though the universe has just given me a bit of a nudge to rewrite that mission statement, because it's so incredibly important, like you said, to know where you're heading. And this is that vulnerable moment where it doesn't matter what your business looks like. It doesn't matter how much you earn, doesn't matter how successful you are, you still got to do this stuff, right? And that's me right now. I'm putting my hand up going, whoa, actually, I haven't rewritten that mission statement since 5 years ago. You know, I obviously know what my goals are. I know, know where we're heading, all of those things, but have I visualized now what I want the next 10 years to look like, considering I'm approaching the first 10 years now? If I was to look back on that mission statement, we're almost sitting exactly with where I visualize, which is very, very cool. So
can I just butt in for 1 second there too? I was just going to say one thing that I do see a lot though, what can happen is some people, like I could tell people to manifest this and do all the future self stuff. What I believe is the missing link, and what I think is really, really important, is you do have to go back to actually identify what your programming is at this stage. Because again, what I found even in the business that I'm in, that I could tell people to do the activity all day long. I could tell them to sit down and write, affirm this and be, what are you grateful for? But until they actually know why they're there, you can't actually move forward. It's like butting your head up against a brick wall going, this doesn't work for me. I'm giving up. I'm stopping. Go back, change it. And then you can create.
Yes. So I'm sure there'll be many people listening right now that go, I'm stuck. And this is your kick up the butt to be like, hey, reach out to Danny and go and fix those things. Go and, go and rewrite that part, of your subconscious so that you can, progress forward, because we liken it to the glass roof. You hit the glass roof and you know what, you'll just keep hitting it. Like the bird that flies into your sliding door. We've all had it. Every single one of us have had the dove that's flown into the door, right? Like that's what some of your businesses will look like now for some people that are listening. You're the dove and you just keep hitting the glass sliding door. And it's so normal. We've all done it. Danny's done it. I've done it. It is part of the process. But the people that will move forward are the ones that are, like you said, open-minded in working out why. And
willing to do the work, and willing to actually step into it and do the work. Because I'll tell you, it's not always easy. Like I'm not saying, I'll do this, it's not going to be rainbows. It's not easy. Like you're saying before, there are tears. There is some really big.
It was complete breakdown. Breakdown. Like, I mean, hitting the floor with my knees, breakdown, and if I think back now, I think, oh my God, it was the most painful time of my life. And I've been through some pretty crazy stuff, and this one took the cake. But wow, I've never seen it look this good.
I know. On the other side, it's amazing.
On the other side, people go, the grass isn't greener on the other side. Well, I beg to differ. I really beg to differ. So look, Danny, like I said, there's a lot of people who are going to be listening to this that are crushing business. They're going, there's a lot of people that are going to be stuck. And there's a lot of people that are just, they're oscillating. Everything's good. They're happy where they're at. What's the biggest tip? If you could go back to your younger self, what would you say to her?
I would say to her, because actually, do you know what I always look to my daughter as in myself as well. Go, what do I say to her? And that's what I'd sort of say to my younger self. I do, obviously, one of the things I want people to know is, I would say to myself, is don't put limitations on yourself. There are no limits. And again, I was thinking, and I'm a big one about the school education, but I was thinking about this. Like, I am a mum of 2 kids that live in a very small town that I barely passed year 12. I actually did year 12 twice and still barely passed it the second time. Don't have a university degree, but that is not my story.
Yeah.
My story is, you can do whatever you want to do, but you've just got to be willing to, take opportunities, work on yourself. So as my younger self, I would say there are no limitations. The only limitation is you. No one is coming to do it for you. Don't wait for anybody to come and do it for you. This is what I say to my daughter. It's completely up to you. Like, no one's coming to save you or create that income for you, or create that better self, better health, better wealth, all those things. It's up to me. Like, look inwards, work on yourself. But yeah, no limitations, but it is up to you, is what I'd say to my younger self.
This actually came up only a couple of days ago. I was talking to a girlfriend and she said, you know, she doesn't have a title. You know, she's not put a title on what it is that she does. And I thought to myself straight away, I was like, oh, well, how do people know what you do? You know, like, are you chasing all of the rabbits? And then when I sat with it for a little bit, I just went, sometimes it's those titles that we put on ourselves, that I'm a coach, I'm a, you know, blah, 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 which actually puts us in a box.
Yep.
And then we, you know, for us creatives and us entrepreneurs and, you know, us overachievers, you know, all of a sudden we feel like a caged bird, you know, and all you do is spend all your time trying to get out of exactly where you put yourself in. And it really wasn't until I sat with that for a moment that I went, wow, it's so true. So true.
Can I actually, something on that too, just recently I went to, actually probably near where you are, Gwingana Health Retreat, and I went there and it was amazing, but you actually can't talk about what you do.
Okay.
So what was very interesting, there are no titles. So there's no hierarchy, or there's no, it was amazing. Like, it was so refreshing and so good that there was no intimidation. It was just, who are you? What are your values? What are you like? What are you trying to achieve? But not an actual title of who you are. And I loved that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it flicks over to that pedestaling, I think it is, you know, and it's like, you know, so many people, oh my God, how did you do this? And oh my God, you know, you're so inspiring and you're so this. And I'm like, I'm just so you. I'm just you. Like, I'm just at my chapter 20 and you're at your chapter 10. But we're the same, you know. And I think that's one thing that I drilled into my team and still continue to drill into my clients is, like, I'm no different. I just didn't have any excuses.
Yep.
That's it. You know, I'm the same person. I scream at my kids. I have bad days. I fire myself. I send stuff to clients that's wrong. You know, like, I do all of those things. And I think sometimes we get too caught up in, you know, this person, you know, with this big shiny light around them that can't do any wrong. And I'm thinking, God, if some of you just spent 10 minutes in my home, you'd be like, wow, she's crazy. You know,
Exactly.
And my kids even say it, you know, and they're like, yeah, no, you're full on, you know. And I'm like, oh, that's a really nice way for a 10-year-old to say it, you know, like, you're definitely full on, Mum.
You're right, Mum.
But, you know, I think it's so incredibly important that, you know, for us women who are, you know, doing great things and, you know, really leaving an impact on the world in one way or another, that we continue to share that message. You know, we are no different. There's nothing about my life that doesn't look like yours. There's clothes on the floor, there's washing that's not done, you know. It's just what we're choosing to focus on.
Absolutely. And that's one big thing. And the reason why I do this work is that I want to show people they literally can have that. They can have what you've got, they can have what I've got, they can have what whoever's got. It's just up to them.
Yeah. And it's not straight away. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. Oh, but I've been doing this for 2 years now. And it's like, good, do the next 2, because the time's going to pass anyway. So, you know, you just get better and smarter, and, you know, you learn more along the way and you meet cooler people, right?
Absolutely. And along the way too, and this is what I was going to say, it's really, really important to surround yourself with those expanders. Like, for you need to see it to believe it. And some people can, but in my circle, I don't have the expanders. That's fine. Find them on YouTube, listen to them on podcasts, read them in books, surround yourself with those people. That's what I did. I knew where I wanted to go. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I YouTube the top income earners in any company. I looked at people who have got the life that I want. I've like obsessed with them. What do they do? What are their morning routines like? What do they do every day? What do they eat? I got obsessive over it, and so I could get it.
Yeah, and success leaves clues. And now, you know, now that you mentioned that, you know, I did exactly the same thing. And for anyone listening, you're going to see a continual pattern with everybody that speaks on these podcasts, is that we obsessed and we mirrored the person who had the life that we wanted, the person that had the business we wanted, the money we wanted, whatever. You know, you just mirror that. And I remember, you know, my upline was, you know, crushing it online, and I literally just mirrored everything she did, everything to a T. But I just put my flair on it, you know, and my style and my vibe, and that's all I did. You know, there is no secret sauce to this. You've literally you've got to speak your truth. You've got to find where you stand in this world and what you're about, you know, and what's your message, I think, is a big one. What are people, you know, if I strip back the business and the money and the Instagram followers and all that shit, if I strip all that back, who are you? And a lot of people can't answer that, you know, and that's why they struggle in the online space. So, Danny, some of the things you've shared have literally smacked me in the face. So thank you.
Because, you're welcome.
Because, you know, it's so nice to just have those little reminders, you know, like, hey, you know, you're crushing it, but you need to just pull it back a little bit, reset, write these things down. So thank you for that. I'll be writing like a crazy woman after this. So where can people find you? I know that, like you said, you've got programs running at the moment. You've got this awesome thing that happens at 5 a.m., which has me going, we can hang out at 5 a.m. I love this. So tell me about that.
So I've got a few things. We do have an online self-study course, which is in manifestation foundation. So giving people like the foundations of that. I talk a lot about money manifestation as well, because that is a huge block, particularly for women. And they might not think they've got it, but when they look at their story and their programming from, you know, following their mum or their grandma, we've got that. So we've got money manifestation, and our most popular and our really, I think, important program too is called Unblock and Reprogram. So it's literally unblocking what is holding you back from true potential, but teaching you how to reprogram the subconscious mind very simply. So you can actually change your story. It's like writing a new script.
Yeah.
So we've got that, and that's all online. It's self-paced. You can do that whenever, you know, whenever it suits you. Yep. We do have a live daily practice, which is the 5 a.m. circle. So people do show up. It's getting up at 5 a.m. We meet online at 5:15. I do a teaching at the start for 5-10 minutes. Then it's literally just doing your own journal work as well there. And then it's also good for anybody. They've got access to me daily too in that way. If they've got any questions they're doing the courses, ask me. Like it. So it's having that daily coaching access as well. Now, if people don't want to get up at 5, we do go live into a private Facebook group too. So I do post that in there every day. So you might get up at 6 and then watch that then. So, or if you live in a different state, different country, you still have that access as well. We do have guided journals. So it's called the Future Self Journal. No. And that's a beautiful book that you can work through every day as well, and gives you those prompts on how to actually create your future self. Plus meditations, and plus I do one-on-one coaching. So you can have me in your back pocket if you want to really step it up, if you really want to transform quite quickly and have that support throughout. I do one-on-one coaching. I don't take on many clients of that because I do give a lot to that daily, but I do offer that as well. Wow. So you can, I was going to say, you can find us on Instagram, Academy of Manifestation. Plus, I know you're going to be sharing the links of our website where you can actually look at the journals, look at the courses, or just reach out to me. Honestly, DM me through Instagram and you can ask me anything. I'm a very open book, very transparent, and I love connecting with people.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. There's been a lot of aha moments for me, and I'm sure for many other people listening. So I really appreciate your time. I love that we've connected, and I look forward to staying in contact.
Same. Thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
You're welcome.